ISRO launches new rocket SSLV-D2 from Sriharikota. The Indian Space Research Organisation (ISRO) on Friday successfully launched the second edition of the Small Satellite Launch Vehicle (SSLV-D2) from the first launch pad of Satish Dhawan Space Centre at Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh. The launch took place at 9:18 a.m. SSLV-D2 EOS-07 mission is accomplished successfully. SSLV-D2 placed EOS-07, Janus-1, and AZAADIS-AT2 into their intended orbits, ISRO tweeted. The new rocket will attempt to put 3 satellites, ISRO's EOS-07, US-based firm Antares' Janus-1, and Chennai-based space startup SpaceX's AZAADIS-AT2 into a 450 km circular orbit during its 15-minute flight, the ISRO said. According to ISRO, the SSLV caters to the launch of up to 500 kg satellites to low Earth orbits on a launch-on-demand basis. The rocket provides low-cost access to space, offers low turnaround time and flexibility in accommodating multiple satellites, and demands minimal launch infrastructure. The SSLV is a 34 meters tall, 2 meters diameter vehicle having a liftoff mass of 120 tons. The rocket is configured with 3 solid propulsion stages and a velocity terminal module. On February 8, the ISRO tweeted, SSLV-D2 EOS-07 mission, launch is scheduled for February 10, 2023, at 9:18 hours East from Sriharikota. Intended to inject EOS-07, Janus-1 and AZAADIS-AT2 satellites into a 450 km circular orbit vehicle ready at the launch pad undergoing final phase checks. The first test flight of SSLV ended in partial failure on August 9 last year after the upper stage of the launch vehicle injected the satellite into a highly elliptical unstable orbit due to a shortfall in velocity. The investigation into the failure also revealed that there was a vibration disturbance for a short duration on the equipment bay (EB) deck during the second stage separation, according to ISRO. Talk about Polar Vortex, a huge chunk of the sun has broken off and scientists are baffled. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope made an unprecedented observation earlier this week to leave scientists concerned. Dr. Tamitha Skov, a space weather physicist who regularly shares updates on social media, wrote on Twitter that a material from a northern prominence broke away from the main filament and was circulating in a massive polar vortex around the north pole of the sun. It basically means that scientists have discovered a huge chunk of the sun has broken off and was circulating in a polar vortex. A solar prominence is a large and bright feature that extends outwards from the surface of the sun. They are anchored to the star's surface and extend outwards in the hot outer atmosphere called the corona. Prominences take a day to form but can last in the corona for months. It consists of hydrogen and helium. Talk about polar vortex. Material from a northern prominence just broke away from the main filament and is now circulating in a massive polar vortex around the north pole of our star. Implications for understanding the sun's atmospheric dynamics above 55 degrees here cannot be overstated. Dr. Tamitha Skov wrote in her tweet. Scott McIntosh, a solar physicist and deputy director at the National Center for Atmospheric Research in Boulder, Colorado, said he has never seen a vortex like this. As of now, there is still a lot of doubt and confusion over the breaking of the northern prominence. However, scientists have said it could be related to the reversal of the sun's magnetic field and the fact that something unexpected usually happens when the sun reaches a 55-degree latitude in every 11-year solar cycle. Once every solar cycle, it forms at the 55-degree latitude and it starts to march up to the solar poles. It's very curious. There is a big, why, question around it. Why does it only move toward the pole one time and then disappears and then comes back, magically, 3 or 4 years later in exactly the same region? Scott McIntosh told Space.com. SpaceX test fires Starship booster in milestone for debut orbital launch. Washington, February 9. Reuters. SpaceX's towering Super Heavy booster, one half of the company's Starship rocket system, briefly roared to life for the first time on Thursday in a test firing that puts the behemoth Moon and Mars vehicle closer to its first orbital flight in the coming months. 31 of the Super Heavy's 33 Raptor rocket engines fired for roughly 10 seconds at SpaceX's facilities in Boca Chica, Texas, the company's chief executive, Elon Musk, tweeted shortly after the test, shown during a livestream. Team turned off one engine just before start and one stopped itself, so 31 engines fired overall, Musk tweeted. But still enough engines to reach orbit. The engines were ignited in a roar of orange flames and billowing clouds of vapor while the 23-story tall rocket remained bolted in place vertically atop a platform adjacent to a launch tower. When mated to its upper stage Starship spacecraft, the entire vehicle will stand taller than the Statue of Liberty at 394 feet, 120 meters high, forming the centerpiece of Musk's ambitions to eventually colonize Mars. But plans call for it to first play a leading role in NASA's renewed human exploration of the Moon. It was unclear whether SpaceX will decide to conduct another static fire test of the Super Heavy, with all 33 engines, before the company attempts to launch the powerful, next-generation rocket for the first time in an uncrewed flight to space. That launch, a test mission lifting off from Texas and landing off the coast of Hawaii, could happen in the next month or so, SpaceX President Gwynne Shotwell told a conference on Wednesday, though the exact flight date hinged on the outcome of Thursday's static fire test. Over 4,900 new MNCs opened in India, government. Around 1,333 multinational companies (MNCs) have shut down in the country, but more than 4,900 new ones have come up, opening new avenues and job opportunities, Parliament was informed on Friday. Responding during question hour in the Rajya Sabha, Minister of State for Commerce and Industry Som Prakash said it is normal to see some MNCs get closed and some new to come up. A total of 1,333 MNCs have been closed down in the country, out of which 313 were foreign-based and 1,017 were their subsidiaries, he said. I am happy to share that in comparison to it, the one closed down, 4,906 new MNCs have been opened. This will open new avenues and provide job opportunities, Prakash said. The minister, however, did not share the time period during which the MNCs were shut and new ones were opened. Blue Origin awarded NASA launch contract for Mars mission. Washington, February 9. Reuters. Blue Origin, the private space company founded by billionaire Jeff Bezos, was awarded its first interplanetary NASA contract on Thursday to launch a mission next year to study the magnetic field around Mars, the U.S. space agency and company said. Plans call for Blue Origin's recently developed New Glenn heavy lift rocket to blast off with NASA's dual spacecraft Escapade mission in late 2024 from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida, the agency said. It will take the identical twin Escapades, short for Escape and Plasma Acceleration and Dynamics Explorers, about 11 months to reach Mars orbit, where they will capture data from the planet's magnetosphere and its interactions with solar radiation. New Glenn, with a reusable first stage designed to be flown on at least 25 missions, is named for pioneering NASA astronaut John Glenn, who became the first American to orbit Earth in 1962. Blue Origin has flown previous NASA missions with its smaller, suborbital New Shepard rocket, which can carry research payloads on short, microgravity trips to the edge of space and back. But Escapade gives Blue Origin another line of business with a valuable government customer as Bezos' rocket company begins to compete with SpaceX, United Launch Alliance and other major players for flights to low Earth orbit and beyond. Blue Origin, known for its astro-tourism business for wealthy customers and celebrities, is one of 13 firms NASA chose last year for its venture-class acquisition of dedicated and rideshare missions VADR program. VADR essentially is intended to spur private development of private space launch vehicles by assigning lower-cost NASA science missions to new rockets with an unproven record and higher chance of failure. In doing so, NASA takes on greater risk by using promising upstart rocket services with whom commercial customers might be unwilling to fly initially. NASA says the maximum possible price for a launch under the VADR program is $300 million. The space agency declined to disclose the value of the Escapade contract, calling such information proprietary. Blue Origin also declined to discuss financial details. Although Escapade marks NASA's first flight on New Glenn, that booster has been selected to carry payloads to orbit for 3 leading satellite operators, Eutelsat, JSAT and Telesat, according to Blue Origin. The company also has said Amazon's Project Kuiper satellite constellation has chosen New Glenn for 12 launches over 5 years.